Greetings everyone, Sunrostern here. Today I wanted to talk about a topic that is of interest to me, and I imagine that it would be of interest to many other people in similar circumstances. That is the pathway of becoming a millionaire. And let's just imagine or make up a starting point. Your net worth is $50,000 and you're making $150,000 a year working as a software engineer at a company that provides you with the benefits and with a matching 401k. What is the most optimal pathway to becoming a net worth millionaire from that starting point? And I would say that is a pretty advanced starting point. You don't graduate from college finding yourself in such circumstances, but I'm talking about people in their probably mid-20s and 30s who have their degree and skills necessary to land a job in similar circumstances. I've watched a bunch of videos and read a bunch of articles that talk about different ways to getting there, but in my mind they boil down to about 5 points that I wanted to share with you in this video. So number one, there is a movement called FIRE movement, and FIRE stands for Financial Independence, Retire Early. And the idea is to save very aggressively to a point where you're saving something like 50 or 60% of your income so that you can get to a nest egg and invest that nest egg to somewhat of a stable investment where you can withdraw the money without diminishing principal. And that withdrawal would cover your living expenses and you wouldn't have to work every day for a paycheck for living. And that is quite an ambitious goal. And the idea is also to sacrifice your present in terms of financial expenses or activities so that you can gain independence at some point in the future, however you define your level of the nest egg required. And overall, this can be applicable and effective, but there are two problems that I see with it. One is you have to live now, and you have to be in the present, spend time traveling and seeing friends and family, and really living a life because there are seasons in life, and if you miss those seasons, you can certainly get wealthy at some point in the future, but you will never get that time back. And so you have to be cognizant of that and plan accordingly. The second problem that I see with it is if your income stream is not as substantial, you're not able to save, because saving is directly proportional to your level of income in that scenario. So I would say as point number one is to focus on increasing your level of income. Now, I would say $150,000 is quite significant, but considering it's Silicon Valley, the cost of living in that area is quite high. So what are the ways to increase that level of income? It is a place for many companies that are very competitive in their benefits, and they're looking for talented engineers. And I've picked engineers, but it really can be applicable to any profession at large. So your focus should be to learn new skills, both hard skills and soft skills. So by hard skills, I mean the ability to solve problems, technical problems, using particular technologies such as programming languages or frameworks, and the ability to deliver the products that are high quality, don't break, well tested, etc. And work as a team and independently, depending on the project at hand. And the soft skills, by soft skills I mean the ability to communicate and work with other people so that you can unblock yourselves. If you need particular information and requirements from different teams, you're able to reach out and work with them to get what you need and solve and deliver that result to your employer. So once you step up your game in that way, your compensation will also increase, whether it would be promotion within the company or you could find a new role at a different company. And more often than not, but the level of compensation switching jobs is usually higher than if you stay at one employer. But there is a level of risk also that comes with it. And you can make your own trade-offs about making that decision, but that's the general direction. So how do you do that? How do you increase your expertise and improve your hard skills and soft skills? I would say that in today's age, there are so many resources that are available to us for free. There are YouTube videos and articles on Medium and other places where you can learn about how to spin up React apps, or how to use Node.js with TypeScript, etc. Those are very in-demand skills. But also there are courses that are paid, and I would say that you can start with free courses and kind of see how you do with those, whether they are helpful to you. But I would say that the paid courses have an advantage because they have to compete with the free courses, and the creators really dedicate their time, for the most part, in making them valuable and add value. So sometimes a subscription of $50 a month is certainly worth it, because compared to a college degree where you're paying thousands of dollars per semester, might not be as effective as a course. Or sometimes a boot camp, like a coding boot camp or a specialization boot camp, can be quite advantageous. So these are the way to upskill your hard skills. As far as soft skills go, that is something that is harder to teach or to learn, but talk to people. Go out there and just explore different people's problems in the context of work as you solve the problems for your project. And it always amazed me how Elon Musk was saying that when he was asked, how did you solve this problem? I think it was like the rocket stuff, to land the rocket vertically and not to just totally destroy it upon landing. And he said, well, I read a bunch of books and talked to a bunch of people. So I guess that's the way to upskill your soft skills. Now, you have a higher level of compensation now that you have upskilled, now that you have gotten your raise, promotion, or a new job. What do you do with it? Now it is time to increase proportionally your level of savings. And of course, there's accounts like 401k and Roth IRAs and IRAs in general. But I would say it really depends on your goals, because you cannot really use your 401k until you're 59 and a half in America. And there are penalties associated with using those funds earlier than that. So you have to weigh your, trade-offs with tools like 401k. In the right circumstances, those are very powerful vehicles. And sometimes you need to talk with your advisor in order to weigh those differences and see what's best, what's the most optimal decision. But I'm talking specifically about investments in a taxed account, where you can pick stocks and mutual funds. Now that you have a substantial level of savings, this is where your money can accelerate. And one of the ways to accelerate your, your odds at becoming wealthier is to be able to pick stocks. I know it can be a controversial idea, but in my mind, people who say don't put all eggs in one basket, they assume that you don't know. And of course, we don't know the future. So it really boils down to so here's an example. Say you were an investor into Apple in 1977, and I don't know if it was traded publicly, probably not, but you had an opportunity to invest into that company. Now that $1,000 of your investment would turn into probably multiple millions. And the idea is, at the time when no one believes in a company, but the company you believe will be great, that is the time to invest. But there are plenty of companies that had a promising beginning, but then ended up failing. And in the example of Apple, it was an unknown company, no one knew about it, but it ended up being great. And people who had invested back then, they had huge payoffs for that decision. So really, it depends on whether you know enough information and have enough confidence to say that in the future your investment into one particular stock or a handful of those stocks will pan out. If not, if you don't have that confidence and information, I would say then diversifying is better, because it really alleviates the risk or mitigates risk in such a way that if something fails, then the rest of the portfolio will not let you sink too much. So speak to your advisor. I'm not a financial advisor, just rambling guy somewhere on the YouTubes. Now, point 3, and I think point 3 should have been point 2, but nonetheless, the debt. Oftentimes, people have a lot of student debt coming out of college, and they might have some consumer debts such as credit cards and cars. And on top of that, you might have a mortgage loan, which is really like a fourfecto of debts. Quadrifecto? I don't know. It's like 4 of the fectos. And in order to reduce that, you need to try to identify which ones you can get rid of first. And of course, the logical thing is to get rid of the consumer debt, because if it started to accumulate and gain interest on top of that, you really don't want that when the interest rate is 20-something%. Try to get rid of the consumer debt as fast as possible and use your credit cards only for the cashback rewards. Say you just pay off your credit card every month, use it as if it was a debit card and never carry a balance. So that's the way to deal with credit cards in 5 seconds. And then for the car loan, try to get rid of the car loan as fast as you can. Next. And then student debt, I guess the same idea. The only loan that seems to be worth it to carry and not to get rid of earlier is possibly mortgage, if you have a great mortgage rate. But of course, it's October 2023, probably not applicable, but say you had the privilege of getting a mortgage loan a couple of years ago, then the mortgage rate would have been probably around 2 to 3%. You're in the green. So again, it's not a financial advice, just ramblings and thoughts out loud, or food for thought. Then point 4. I would say that investing is quite an art, and it's more of an art than science, because oftentimes the calculations and the fundamentals and projections might not really be as effective as just the gut feeling about a company. Of course, it's not like you're gambling and feeling good about something, but you have to kind of combine the knowledge about the industry, the company, the problem that it's trying to solve with the gut feeling. So it's not just pure gut feeling, if you know what I mean. Once you get to a level, or once you get to a position where you can invest into some private rounds in a very promising company, that's when you can unlock the the multiple factor on your investment, where the company or the money that you invested into this company now would return 2x, 4x, or even 10x your investment. And oftentimes those opportunities are limited to accredited investors. And as of now, I believe that it's defined as an individual with a net worth of $1 million or with an income level of 200,000 for the past 3 years or something. So with that, it all ties back to the level of income. We were starting out with 150,000, but now that you have upskilled your profession, your ability to solve problems, your value in the industry, you could be well past 200K. And at that point, you can have the track record of earning over 200,000 and becoming an accredited investor. And by that time, you might have saved some money in your taxed account. And you may want to allocate some of it into more risky but potentially more rewarding companies in the private rounds. So these are the 4 tips so far. And yes, I talked about 5 tips. So let's talk about the 5th one. What is it? Drum roll. Well, live below your means. And that should have been number 1 actually, but hey, it's one of the 5 nonetheless. Live below your means. Try not to, in order to save, you have to spend less than you earn. And try to make a very disciplined and tight budget so that your income is tracked as far as here is the money that goes into mortgage payment. Here's the money that goes into credit cards. And here's the budget for my food and other expenses such as entertainment. That would include restaurants and things like that. So that you don't go beyond your budget. Yeah, it's going to suck at first, but then once you get into a habit of doing that, that will go a long way as far as helping you to stay on track. And just as you're paying taxes, and the taxes are being taken out of your paycheck or automatically from your gross income, do the same thing with your savings. Try to see, okay, I am able to save 15% of my gross income every month towards savings. Do that. Try to invest that money right away without even, it's called paying yourself first. So pay yourself first. Get this out of the way so that once you receive the money, you invest it right away to the goal according to whichever, level of savings you are, whether it's getting rid of the debt first, or once you've gotten rid of the debt, you want to invest into your tax accounts or retirement accounts, whatever the case might be. So do that. Live below your means. Try to enjoy life too. Don't just do all the way fire style. Again, not a financial advice, but try to enjoy the season of life. Don't miss out. But at the same time, try to look out for the future, for something that is going to make you happy right now, today, and tomorrow. And yes, let's track this millionaire journey on this channel. I know I've been gone for some time. I've been busy doing things, but I'm super happy to be back. I know it's been a while, but I really like talking with you and receiving comments from you. Thanks for listening to my ramblings, and hope to see you soon. And by the way, I wanted to talk about those topics and discuss those things with some of the influencers and YouTubers that are in those spaces, like finance YouTubers or maybe tech YouTubers, to see what their thoughts are. So I'm trying to do that, and I'm hoping to share some of the content here on this channel soon. Keep in touch. By the way, like this video. If you didn't like this video, there is also a dislike button, so this gives me an idea of whether this information was helpful to you. And if you liked this video, like and subscribe. Peace out. Good night.